How's it going, Charles Botenston? I was actually just cleaning my apartment, and I have headphones in while I'm cleaning the apartment. I'm vacuuming. It's a Sunday. It's beautiful out. I got this guy on, and his YouTube channel is called Actualized, and I'll link the actual video below. The video, it doesn't really matter about the video, actually, because you'll be listening to the video, and you'll have a thought that is completely different. And this thought was insane. And he starts going into that the reason we do anything, the reason we want to get better at anything is because we want to, it's the emotional impact it'll have on us. And then he said, subscribe to my channel and everything else. And I started taking it further. I'm like, the emotional impact it has on us. Then I started thinking about it. And I'm like, oh my God. Literally, everything we do is the emotion it's going to give us. The emotion it's going to give us. Why do you date that pretty girl? The emotion, potentially egotistically, look at this pretty girl, guys, that I got. Or a girl goes out shopping, the emotion that she gets, the rush she gets from buying a new purse. Why are you even watching this video? Because you want this emotion to hit you that you are good, that you're doing something with your life, that you're learning something, that you're getting better. That is the emotion of fulfillment. Everything we do, anytime we do anything, why we get out of bed, you know what, I'm tired, but I'm gonna stay in bed. Why we buy anything, why we go to school, because of the emotion that it's going to give us. This is insane. Like literally the clothes I'm wearing, the hat, everything I'm doing, me even talking into this camera, the emotion that I'm going to get, the satisfaction I'm going to get from spreading this word to you that you'll potentially subscribe or like or comment. Those emotions, the reason I'm actually doing this video is for those emotions. The reason you are commenting potentially is because of the emotion of maybe me or someone else replying, that satisfaction, that approval. And it's crazy because the ultimate goal is enlightenment. And that takes decades to literally look at something as it is. And not out of judgment, not out of ego, just as it is. Not even how it benefits or it doesn't benefit. You could look at your parents, you could look at a pen or a light, and you'll say, oh, the light is here because it illuminates. No. You're looking at it for a benefit. Or if you're trying to sneak up on someone, it's not a benefit. If you look at it just the way it is. That is true enlightenment. So literally everything, the reason you exercise, the reason you smile, the reason you get mad, the reason you're a Republican or a Democrat, or you're voting, or that you post something on social media is because of the feeling it will give you. The reason you do anything is because you're not actually chasing the watch or the job or the money or the girl or the new business or the clothing or the hat or more followers or more subscribers. You're actually chasing the feeling of what you perceive that's going to give you. Perfect example is I can go to the gym and my perception of the feeling is going to be different than yours. So in other words, I go to the gym because I want to feel good and just feel healthy. You'll go to the gym just to say that you went to the gym, to maybe even type it on social media and look for that acceptance, or to prove to yourself, you know what, I did something today. So it's individualized. It is completely individualized why we do everything. Why it's the perception, it's the perceived emotion that you're going to get from drinking coffee. I'm energized, an emotion of enthusiasm or energy. The reason we save money is because of a feeling in the future we perceive as stability so we don't have to work. This is insane. And this is why you need to consistently improve yourself. You have to only feed your mind with good things. And today I've had enough. From the past week, I just hit a point of the feelings that I was chasing were not good. No. I shouldn't say that because that means you're labeling the feelings. What I was doing, the perceived feelings I thought it would give me was not giving me those feelings. So here's an example. Say you are dating someone that you think is your ideal person, your ideal mate, your ideal boyfriend or girlfriend, spouse, whatever. Then, so you perceive this idea that this pretty person or this infatuated love that you may feel that you will get, so you start dating them. If you don't get that feeling, so in other words, say you're dating someone or you buy something, if you don't get that feeling, what's worse is actually before you started dating or buying that. So in other words, say I get a new iPhone and I spend whatever amount of money, it gives me that immediate gratification because I bought the iPhone. That's the emotion I'm seeking, is the emotion of, I don't know, joy. Whatever, I don't know. I haven't, if it was real and live at the time, then I would know. But say I buy it and it doesn't actually satisfy the emotion, you're worse off than if you never actually bought it. So you're worse off because your perception doesn't meet the reality of the emotion. This is so deep. This is crazy. So in other words, say you get a job, or say you start your own business. This is a perfect example. Is that I'm starting my own business because I want more freedom. Okay, great. So that's the emotion, or if freedom is an emotion, maybe it is. I think it is. Say you start your own business because you want more freedom. Which starting your own business will not give you more freedom. Trust me, I know. Is you start your own business. It doesn't satisfy the emotion to the expectation you have. Say you want this much more amount of freedom, but you only get this much, you'll actually feel worse because your perception is off, which actually in turn affects your self-esteem because you say, I was wrong. I'm wrong. The emotion that I thought it would give me is not giving me that emotion. And then you'll go into what I'm doing right now, which is, I don't know what to do, and then you're actually more lost, which brings in a deeper emotion, which is pain. Pain is a way deeper emotion than pleasure. And that's why people will do anything to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. That's from Tony Robbins, and Tony Robbins probably took it from someone else. But people would rather avoid something that they know will suck than to do something that they know will be amazing. Okay? I'll give you an example. Because that's what life is. Life is about examples and similes and metaphors. And so they call it loss aversion. Loss aversion essentially means that you have something. The pain is deeper if you lose something that you have than if you never even had it. So in other words, I have right here a Kindle. So say I never even had a Kindle, they would say, what if I gave you a Kindle and took it away? They would say, what's your emotion? You'd be like, all right, whatever. I never had it, so who cares? But say someone took your Kindle after you already had it. That's the loss aversion, the identity that you have to this because you actually own this is worse. So that's why you actually feel worse when you say this doesn't give me what the emotion that I'm seeking, and someone then takes it away. That's double trouble because it doesn't meet the expectations that you want. Someone also took this away after you've had it. Imagine I never had it. I never had it, and I read all my books here. And I never had a Kindle. So I don't know the feeling it's going to give me. I have a perception of what the feeling is going to be or the emotion it's going to give me, but I never had one, so I don't know. So it's not that big of a deal. It's kind of like someone that has a boat. You know, there's that famous saying that says, be the guy that rides the boat and not owns the boat. You know, the best time to be on a boat is when it's not yours, you know, because it's a lot of money, it's a lot of maintenance. It's kind of like a car. Once you turn on the engine for the first time, it automatically decreases in value. So that's the biggest thing, is that people say, I want a boat, or I want a car, or I want this girlfriend, or I want this boyfriend, I want this job, I want this handbag, I want acceptance from social media. I want my parents to accept me. I want a college degree. Everything we do, the college degree is going to give me approval and joy and satisfaction that I did something, that I'm worthy of society, that because I have this degree, I'm going to be able to get a job that is going to give me the feeling of security, which is then going to give me money, which is going to be, everything you do is chasing an emotion. Everything you do. So there's really no to-do step here. It's just being aware everything you do. Look at the emotion that you're actually chasing. Find out what is it? What is that deep down inside emotion that you're chasing, that vacation you go on, that everything you do. So, hope this helps. Like I just said, I just thought of it. So I'll have much deeper videos about this in the future, because I'm going to play around with it in my head and find out, you know, how does this benefit you? How does it not benefit you? How do you take action? How do you blah, blah, blah. So all the social links are below. I know I said I would link the video. You know what? I will. I'll link the video. The guy's name is Leo, I think it is. It's actualized.org is his website. Amazing YouTube channel. I re-stumbled upon it, and I really like it. So anyway, have an awesome day. Subscribe to everything, Snapchat, Instagram, blah, blah, blah. And iCharles.com, which is the website. All the links are below. Have an awesome day. Talk to you guys soon.